Hi everyone, thank you very much for coming to listen to this amazing panel today. So what we're going to talk about is Web3 gaming and community. Web3 gaming changed a lot over the last few years, and it's crazy to think that just 3-4 years ago, it wasn't even a thing. So we really want to go deep into the discussion and try to understand what's next for Web3 gaming and where are we going from here. I would like just to introduce our panel. So we have Uluç, Daria, and Ilker. Uluç, would you like to start introducing yourself?
Oh, of course. My name is Uluç. I'm the co-founder of Curator Studios, and I've been in business for 25 years. First 10 years is finance and investment banking, and last 15 years is mainly in technology, startups, gaming, and so on and so forth. I've been in blockchain since 3 years, captivated by the technology. We have our Web3 gaming studio right now, and developing our first Web3 game.
Fantastic. Daria, what about you?
Hi, nice to meet you all. My name is Daria. I represent Internet Computer. It is layer 1 blockchain from Switzerland. I'm a co-founder of ICP.Hub Turkey. We built our global presence with these hubs. We help local startups to grow. Actually, we have a lot of GameFi projects on board, and soon we will have even incubator for them with ICP Labs. So it is really popular theme in our ecosystem, and we're grateful to have us today here. Thank you.
Great to have you here. Ilker, what about you?
Thank you. Yeah, I am Ilker, and I am the Chief Strategy Officer of GoArt Metaverse. I have an engineering background, but to give a brief info about what we are doing is GoArt is a mobile-based, augmented reality-powered B2B2C platform that we are using gamified content to engage brands and their users in our platform. So far, it's going quite interesting, and I'm really happy to talk about the gaming side.
Fantastic. Well, the first question is really try to define what is a player in the Web3 ecosystem. You know, the introduction of Web3 games and tokenization and NFT really change and shift the way we are seeing a player just a passive person to someone that is really involved in the game and in the ecosystem. What do you think about it? What's the role of the player in the Web3 games?
It's actually quite interesting because I think since the whole gaming ecosystem has started and continuing, this is the first time that we are seeing a big shift. Because till now, it's mainly about making the games more immersive until that point that we have this play to earn, move to earn, and different monetization style, and of course the community aspect of it. When it comes to our lives in that manner, I think this is now we are seeing a very big shift going to this way. So for me, I think the most important part is the community. And the community, when I look at it, it's not that we are looking at users. The community is, for me, it is kind of like that you need to treat like investor more than a gamer in that sense. Because, for example, if you are trying to seek, probably most of the builders and everyone tried, to raise some funding, that you talk with 10 or 20 investors, maybe 3-4 of them, maybe 10 of them are going to invest. But you need to explain every aspect of your project, and you need to be very detailed, and they are going to do due diligence. But we are talking about 10 companies, right? 10 people that you need to convince. But now, if you want to convince the new investors, there are 100,000 people that's going to watch you, check you, and judge you. At the same time, you need to be convincing them permanently. Like, you need to do it all the time. So you need to be very careful in that scene. And at the same time, it's a quite powerful thing that when you have this kind of a group that is tried to be there, investing in you, at the same time, they're warning you. So if you listen them well, then you can have more successful, engaging platform. So that's, I think, the biggest change.
Yeah, it seems that in Web3, the players and the company making the games are finally aligned, and there is not just someone that is trying to exploit the other. What do you think about it, Uluç?
I call it the force, But before going deeper on that, is that I want to say a couple of things. In data we trust, right? So I want to talk about some numbers. First of all, how many people here play Web3 games? Can I see hands? And this is a blockchain event. That's the thing. We're having a private party. How many people are playing traditional games? There you go. 3 billion, 15 million, okay? And I'll tell you what is 15 million. 15 million was monthly active user of Roblox back in 2015. Okay? So what we have right now here is not just a little bit private party, and that means we did something wrong, you know? In order to reach the masses, in order to reach, you know, talk about revolutionizing this or transforming this, we need to reach first of all 100 million, 500 million, billion. And the reason why is that a couple of things. Look, we always talk about the value propositions of blockchain, Web3. Oh, you know, you have third-party trading, the ownership, you're gonna make money. I mean, the composability, interoperability, now the governance. Well, I have a news for you. There's nothing new here, okay? Gaming industry, there's been always, you know, third-party trading, making money. All those things have existed since the games are around. Remember World of Warcraft, in-game items, you know, RuneScape, Dota, and the rare items on that, you know. There was an auction from Diablo. You know, RuneScape token was used in Venezuela for in-game currency, for the currency of the local market, because Venezuelan currency was going down, because depreciating. So the thing is, there is something else here also. Like, you know, we talk about all these value propositions, and we talk about monetization models, right? Play to earn. Oh, no, play and earn. No, play and own. Play and have coffee, play and get married. It doesn't really matter, because there's no play. There's no product. Okay, I mean, I yet to see a game like Minecraft or, you know, Angry Birds did to mobile gaming back in that. So those going to turn their heads around and say, oh, there's something going on here. We yet to see that, but there is something else here. Is that, look, my son is here. Okay, he's 13 years old. He plays Roblox. I'm the financer. I finance Roblox. You know, I know that every month I buy a lot of Robux, right? So what he does is he found a way to sell in-game items. Right, goes to marketplace. Finds a buyer, put the money on the escrow, come back to the server, wait under the tree, meet the guy, release the money. So it's like that. With blockchain, I asked him, you know, what if those in-game items were NFTs and you could trade them? That would be great. But the question is, do you have a game like Roblox? No, you don't have a product here. So the first thing, the first principle, going back to the first principle, is that we need to have a great game, so in order to reach the masses. That's number one. Number two, communication. When we say Web3 games, I think they understand, like here traditional gamers, they understand as a genre. It's not a genre, it's a technology. You know, a game could be made with Unity or Real Engine. You don't say it's a Unity game or it's a, you know, a Real Engine game. It's a game made by Unity, backed by blockchain technology, which will allow you the ownership, that, you know, the transfer and sell your, you know, in-game items. So, going back to first principle, we got to have a great game, otherwise it's not going anywhere.
That's for sure. And that's the thing, is it's really hard to build games, and usually we forget that it takes so many years to build a great game, right? And everyone wants to rush.
It's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
It's coming. Now we had a good, you know, 3-4 years to build these good games, and finally we can reach them. But maybe the question for you, Daria, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I wanted to add something. Actually, I live in Cyprus, and it is a great place for game developers. And what I see, so there are fintech companies and marketing companies, agencies, lead generators, and they have a lot of money, a lot of resources. And then when they have them, they develop games because they have these budgets to make great games, to have these designers, to have these developers. So maybe we need to think more about how to connect DeFi cases, GameFi cases, because maybe they have these sources that they needed to develop a great game. Yes, so maybe we need to think more about where to find these budgets to create something new and cool. Because I am a player, yes, and I love to play great games, and it takes like a lot of years to develop one, yes? Yeah. It takes a lot of people, a lot of talents, and in GameFi world, maybe it is not a lot of them right now.
A lot of money,
yeah,
right?
a lot of money. But if we will take example from the general markets and from how fintech companies, gambling, other stuff companies, how they make an ecosystem together and share their leads, maybe we will have great games in GameFi also.
Yeah, as you said before, we are just having a private party here, right?
Yes.
The Web3 gaming ecosystem is still very small, but maybe the question is, if tomorrow we had 1 million, 10 million, 100 million players, our infrastructure ready to support that? Can we really have a lot of people involved in Web3 games now? Do you think, Daria, do you think that this infrastructure is almost ready at least to onboard the real gamers?
Yeah, so I work with layer 1 blockchains. It is infrastructure for the games. Some of them are pretty ready. ICP, I think, is ready because we developed this system for 8 years already, 2 years in mainnet. So the infrastructure, the tech part is ready. This is a question about the creativity, yes, about the part of how it looks like, about not about the developers only, but about the designers, yes, who draw this beautiful 3D graphics, 3D, yes, and other stuff that we are used to see in the general market of games. And maybe we need to attract them to our market. And also we need to attract general game developers to Web3 models, yes, because they know how to produce games. They just need to believe in our new models. Because sometimes right now when I talk to general game developers, they say, oh, GameFi, it's something bullshit. Sorry.
All this
We
terminology.
don't know how to work with it. So we need to explain them, to show the benefits, maybe to have some corporations in this field, yes, to attract them because they need the help. And they couldn't create beautiful games right now because they are corporations, so here we can help them and get a synergy effect. Yes, our passion, our knowledge about community, about how to attract people globally, yes, how to attract people from all over the world, and also the monetization, yes. GameFi and Web3, it is the only way to be global from the scratch. Yes, maybe this point should attract more people. Yes, how to build game, not for Asia, not for LATAM, but for the whole world. With tokens, with NFT, with blockchain ecosystems, it is only the way possible right now, actually. Because instead you need to collaborate with a lot of payment systems, with a lot of providers, and in blockchain field, it is simpler to get all the people.
Yeah, Ilker, maybe you can add more.
Yeah, sure. Like, I think the way that you asked the question is like that. If we have 10 million, millions of users right now inside, for me, if we were already ready, then we could have that numbers already in the system. It means that we are not. That's just true fact. Even the wallets right now, that like, okay, there is a lot of solutions on the market. Everyone is developing. Especially I want to, thanks to everyone, especially developing in the beer market, which is the hardest thing, even for us. It's been quite a while. Yeah. But the thing is that I think the infrastructures are not there yet. And that's why, actually, for example, for us, the idea is to get the mass adoption in GoArt Metaverse. So we don't want to look at it as a Web3 game perspective. We want to look at it as a game. Okay, there is different games inside. That's why, for example, now we are developing this gaming SDK that is going to be supporting the mobile studios. We are collaborating with them. Actually, we are collaborating with Uluç also. We are working together as partners. So the idea is to, especially in the hyper-casual sector, it is already known that the things are not going the way that they want to. We want to give them a space to a new marketplace that they can offer their games to the brands that we have already inside. The brands want to engage with their customers through games, which GoArt might be that platform to put the games inside, and then making it monetization, making the monetization to share the revenue with the game studios. So, but to be able to do all this, we also added the wallet inside. It needs to be easy for people to understand, and on top of it, we need to be really showing exactly how it works, in a very easy way. Because even for me, like I'm trying the Web3 games. Even the first thing that I'm realizing is that it's not like when I'm opening my PlayStation and playing this game. I know it. It's instinct. We need to make people understand what is the value in the beginning. It needs to be shown. What is the value in the mid-time, and what is at the end? What are you gonna get? So in here, I think we are gonna move to. I would like to talk about more like what is the real world values that we are gonna offer, but maybe another. I don't want to talk too much in that.
We're gonna get there, but I know that Uluç want to probably add on how do we get these people, right? So how can we onboard the next wave of players in Web3, and hopefully now we stop to calling this game Web3 games.
The question, where are we going to find them? We're not going to create a segment, right? New segment. So you're going to convert the traditional gamers out there. And those guys, they don't care about blockchain or wallet. They just want to play a game. So what do? Number one, you lower the cost of entry. What I mean? Make it free to play. The second, lower the barriers of entry. Don't make any prerequisites of wallet or you have to buy this NFT and that. What happens in traditional gaming? You download the game, you click a button, you play. Just do that. Because if you have a good product, if you have a good game, if you want them to try your game, they're not going to be engaging with wallets, NFTs and things like, because they don't know. Okay? You have to be very simple. I think that it should be hybrid model at the beginning. Like, the game should be on the database, why it's fast and secure. And then the blockchain component should be on NFTs. You know, we're going to probably be discussing about NFTs and the tokenization, so on and so forth, later on. But now, what you should do is that also offer them alternative payment methods. I get a lot of heat from Web3 community saying that. But, you know, allow them to buy with credit cards. Have your own marketplace, because now the infrastructure is ready. You know, there's a lot of layer ones and layer twos. It's not like 2020, where there was only one, two, layer ones, right? So now the also infrastructure is faster, more secure. There's like a lot of payment rails. You can make this very simple, like 2-click, at least 1-click wise, if you want them to attract and come and play your game. And then, you know, you can teach them about the wallets and this and that, but you have to make it low barriers of entry, low cost of entry, so that they can come in and play as, you know, as quick as possible.
Yeah, clearly it's still very, very difficult to get into Web3 games if you don't have at least good knowledge, I would say, of blockchain and Web3.
Even now we're like sending like token from one place to another, you know, your hands shake, you know, oh my God, which one is that? You know, we haven't figured out. UI is very bad, UX is very bad. It's just you're trying to figure out your way in this rabbit hole still. Like we've been in this for years, so how are they going to figure it out as a traditional gamer, you know?
What do you think, Daria? How can we kind of help people to understand this space and, you know, get them into Web3 games?
First of all, games is a best place to educate people. In the GameFi form, like gamification helps us to reward people for every step of their movement, for every part that they learn inside the game. So the games are the places where we can educate people about all the Web3 field. Yes, about how to use tokens, how to exchange them, and in fun and engagement form. Yes, so we need to use these games as a businesses, Web3 businesses, to onboard more clients, first of all. The second opportunity that GameFi gives to us is to connect different games. Yes, people love to try something else, something new, and in general world, all the game ecosystem, they are closed. They don't want to exchange anything between each other because they are afraid to lose money, actually. And maybe we need to think about it from the other side, yes, to share with each other, to make some collaborations between different GameFi projects. Maybe it is our own way how to grow, to exchange communities, because even layer ones, they do this stuff, yes, they try to collaborate, to connect, and to find the right audience between each other and how to share it. Yes, so it is an opportunity for us, I think. And about the learning part and about how to onboard people, it is all about UX, yes, all about user experience, all about the designers, as I said before, that need to think about people, about screens, about buttons, how they should look like. But it is not the only problem of GameFi or Web3. Yes, some general services also have such problems. So we just need to grow and evolve in terms of the smallest steps to make it more clear, beautiful, to implement more simple ways to use these services, and it is all about designers, sorry. So it is just, you don't need all these developers, just bring 10% of other people, yes, in your team, because developers, they could work with back part, yes, but you need to think about front and about how to communicate with people. So it is important to have developers, community managers, and product owners with designers in the middle.
Maybe I can add that there, like, because I think especially in the, you know, the hype cycle, in the top of the hype cycle, we saw a lot of games trying to trying to make it more complex. You know, like, because if you don't have a real economical model behind, if you need just more people to come and try more harder, if this is the only way that you think there's going to be an economical model inside, then you need to make it tricky, harder, not understandable for people to stay there. I think that's also one of the reasons that we saw some really bad examples in the last couple of years. But now, I think this is the case. We are really, really right that we need easy, understandable, and real value proposition in the market, in the games to have the real traction, stickiness, you know, inside.
Something that I would really like to discuss about is, let's assume that everyone is knowledgeable about blockchain and Web3. Everyone is ready, you know, infrastructure is ready, players are ready, they want to play. The question is, why? Why do we need Web3 games, and why do we need NFTs? Why do we need tokens in the game? Maybe, Ilker, Uluç, you want to maybe start from here? Please.
Like we have like 10 minutes. Like I need at least 1 hour to talk about NFTs. First of all, I need to talk about the tokens, okay? The tokens is a tricky thing, you know. I wouldn't go for that. I was always against tokenization. I'm talking about fungible tokens, not fungible. NFTs are like the force and the lightsaber, you know, it's everything. I think it's going to change the blockchain. It's going to change the world. It's the consumer side. That's very important. I cannot emphasize this enough. First of all, the tokenization that we mentioned about is that it's tricky, man. You know, if you raise capital through tokens, that's security, all right? They're going to come after you. Very simple. Ripple, great hype. It was on the exchange side. SEC will appeal on this, and they're going to rip you apart. So stay away from that. But NFTs is something else. NFTs are in-game items. That's a selling of in-game items, and you can do that. The second part, it gets complicated through a token, because you know they don't know about this token or something like that. You're going to complicate things. Three, think this is a private equity. You know, none of the companies out there, you look at the Wall Street or the financial markets, they don't go to market before there's a traction, EBITDA, revenues, earnings per share. You cannot talk about this. There's a performance of the token, performance of the company is not parallel. So it doesn't make any sense. It's not intuitive. On the other side, NFTs are like, as I said, the force, you know. I say them like quasi-equity. It doesn't feel like maybe as the ownership, but it does, because they're also used to it. You know, the users and gamers are used to that, because they've been trading them, they've been owning them, they are very familiar with digital assets. And there's a lot of things that you can do with NFTs. You can give them governance, you can raise capital, and you can share revenues. And sharing revenue is also another new concept, you know. You know, it's like World of Warcraft, or sorry, like League of Legends and Dota 2 especially has been doing that for many years. Millions of revenue sharing goes to the players. But the thing is that if you're doing that with the NFTs, you can have tiers and things like that. You have to be careful. If you say dividend, then you're going to be in problem. They're going to come after you. What you can do is that, again, that's the, you know, the examples are in front of you. You can have competition-based, skill-based competitions, and you can have this automatically an autonomous contract, okay, to be distributed to a treasury, to be financialized later on. Or you can have a dedicated treasury, and you can put some, you know, some of your revenues there. And you won't have any problems on payment side, the rail side, the payment rails, because you can distribute it to wallets. It's very easy. That's number one. Number two is that you're going to supercharge your tribe, because they're going to become evangelists, you know. It's not that, you know, they either hold token or NFTs, it doesn't matter. You can arrange that. Once they have that ownership feeling, it's going to supercharge the pride, and, you know, the incentives will align with the company's incentives. Think about a, you know, normal game. If it fails, then all these hours of, you know, efforts and everything down the drain. But if it succeeds, what do they get? What those players get? Nothing. Zero-sum game. So with this, at least they get, like, they spend $100 or they get $10 back to the real world. And the other thing with NFTs is that you can do governance with them, and you can be, they can be composable. Let them make better NFTs, better, you know, games, or better NFT collectibles with them. And also you can even sweeten the investment deal, because right now the money is broke and you cannot find any money. You know, the Fed is going crazy, increased rates. So there's not liquidity right now. So you can kind of sweeten even investor deal with NFTs.
Yeah, it seems a good way to, you know, really get the community with you.
Engaged.
By your side, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about it, Daria?
I think that when you develop a new project, you need time. And when you need this time, you need to save the attention of the people. Yes, so you even don't have a game at this moment when you need this attention. So you need to reward people for their time. Yes, and these NFTs and other possibilities of Web3 world, they help us to grow in a long period of time. For example, I am from biotechnology world, and the project there developed from 7 years till 10 years, and they are always looking for venture capital for this long-term investments, yes? And in Web3 we have this miracle, because people are all around, and if you can tell people and make them believe that you will make a great game, if you have, for example, experts around you, yes, cool guys who develop this game, you have this time to make something really cool. And if you have like the possibility to save this attention on your side, you can play long term. And it is really important in our world, yes? To build something in great quality, you need time. You need people to be around you, so these NFTs and sometimes token sales, they help us to build something that needs time. Yes, the time is money, actually, we know that. We can share this small amount of money with the people, and they can share their capitals with us while we are developing something. So in Web3, we have this special times, yes, when we have attention for long periods. And we can make something long-term. We need to think about it. Yes, how to speak with people, like with several chapters of your development, how to tell them about your story from the scratch. It is really interesting. People want to be a part of. Yes, not to hold NFTs just to hold them, but to be like people who think with you, who has their answers what to do next. Yes, they want to be involved. They like to make some implementations in scenarios even. Yes, so we are all creative. Just give us a chance to participate. And NFTs and the Web3 technologies, they just really comfortable to make these scenarios. Not new payment scenarios, but new scenarios between community, between game developers, and community becomes a game developers actually. They could decide.
Yeah, it seems that it's just the key to access, a vibrant community of people that are interested in the same things and want your project to succeed. What do you think about it, Ilker?
To be honest, time is money was a good part to say. Time is money, and people are realizing it more and more every day, and they're spending this whole time inside. I am spending a lot of time inside the games also. The thing is that this, why do we need Web3 games? Question is that people are realizing that they can get the real world benefits, like real benefits from the time that they spend on one thing. This is possible if we really can design a real economical model behind the games, that people can spend their time, enjoy, at the same time they can get something in return, as Uluç said. But I think the way to do it is not only about each game. We still didn't see real collaborations, that we are collaborating with some communities, doing this marketing, PR thing together, maybe some kind of, even Yuga Labs did like add the sandbox, the avatars, the PPs to be seen in the areas. But I think the real collaboration is going to be that whatever you do in any game, that's going to affect your wallet, that's going to affect your digital identity in the digital world, that we will see that every play that you did, every game that you affect, it's going to affect your digital identity also. Like whatever you do in this world, that's affecting your life, right? So it's going to be when it is going to be the same thing. So we see the real collaborations between games, between metaverses, between virtual areas, that we're going to see this real world impact that we're going to see among people. But also on top of that, I think users and the companies wants to engage in different levels, that companies still couldn't find the right path to go inside the games. For example, brands, they want to be a part of a game, but the only thing that they can do, they can just put a couple of merchandise there. And this is not really something that you're going to be interacting with the users, with the gamers. So I think this Web3 is going to affect, especially in the sports fun engagement part, it's going to affect our lives much faster, because in sports, we couldn't really pass from Web 1 to Web 2, and now we see this big gap between Web 1 and Web 3 that's going to be filled with big chances, big opportunities for fans and for sports clubs. So I think this is going to be a huge opportunity to put games and make them engageable and really affect the industry itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just the beginning of Web3 games, and I'm really looking forward to see what's gonna come out in the next years, and hopefully experience this game, you know, with my friends that know nothing about blockchain, and hopefully they don't need to know anything about this to play and enjoy this game. So thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.